Gian, congratulations.
Thank you.
That performance against Luke Humphries is something special. Just sum up how you feel after that.
Yeah, over the moon. You know, as you said, this performance for myself was something special. Just so happy to, you know, just so happy to show what I'm capable of on this format, on this stage, in this high-pressure game. Because before the tournament, when everyone saw the draw, they were already looking forward to this quarterfinal. So was I, of course. And yeah, to show what I'm capable of in this game, to put him under this much pressure, it feels amazing.
You've shown more than how capable you are. Is that one of the best performances of your career so far?
Yeah, I think so. Especially, maybe not looking average-wise, but if you look at the occasion, what game it was, to play against the world number 2 and to beat him 5-1 when he's played well as well, I think it's been my best game so far in my career.
And of course, that now takes you up to 3rd in the world and the new Dutch number 1. First since 2012, that's some achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. You know, of course, everyone said it before the year, but with the prize money increases, the World Championship is going to have a lot of effect on the rankings. But to still be in the semi-finals, Dutch number 1 now and number 3 in the world, it's an amazing feeling. And I couldn't even dream about it when I was a little kid, especially as a Dutchman. You know, you always looked up against Raymond van Barneveld and then later against Michael van Gerwen. So yeah, it's amazing.
Has it always been a goal of yours, though, to usurp Michael van Gerwen and become that Dutch number 1?
No, not at all. Because as I said, as a Dutchman, you always look at, well, first Raymond, but then Michael van Gerwen. He was always number 1 or 2 in the world. Now eventually number 3 the last couple of years. But you always looked up at him, and he's got to be the number 1. Just make sure. The goal was to be number 2. That was a dream, because in my head it was like, you cannot overtake Michael van Gerwen, and to have done that today, yeah, it's so special.
Of course, you could talk about 2 icons of Dutch darts there. You're facing another icon in the semi-finals of Gary Anderson, a man you called your favourite dart player before. How's it going to be facing him? You must be relishing the opportunity. Oh
yeah, for sure. You know, Gary's played a fantastic tournament so far. So have I. So, you know, I'm just going to enjoy the game. Before the tournament, all the pressure was on my first game. Once I got that victory, all the pressure was off my shoulders, and I was just happy to win my first ever game here. And then, you know, for the rest of the tournament, I felt not nervous at all. Even before tonight, I didn't feel any pressure. I think that showed. And, you know, tomorrow is going to be a great day against Gary, as you said, my idol. So I'm really looking forward to sharing the biggest stage of them all here with him tomorrow. And hopefully it's going to be a great game.
Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow in the semi-finals.
Cheers, thank you.
Gian, congratulations. Brilliant work. When we spoke after your round 1 match, you were relieved just to have actually won a match finally here at Alexandra Palace. Yeah. That feels a long time ago now, doesn't it?
It's been a couple of weeks. Yeah, for sure. You know, so much pressure was on that game, because everyone, even though European champion, match play quarterfinalist, number 10 in the world, but I still hadn't won a game here. So there was so much pressure on that game, and to finally win my first ever game here, so much relief, so much pressure on my shoulders, and I felt really, really comfortable in my second round game, and it showed in that game and all the other games so far. So yeah, you know, so much pressure on that game, but luckily I got the job done.
Yeah, you've got to be happy with your standards as well now, because you know that was always going to be a huge test, and you've definitely got the number over Luke Humphries as well, right? In the last 12 months.
2025, yeah. Started 2026 as well, but you know, Luke is a fantastic player, and he's probably going to beat me many more times the next couple of years, and you know, because he's that good. And I needed to play well tonight as well, because he started off phenomenally, hitting loads of 180s, and but luckily I kept putting him under pressure. He missed a couple of darts. I took my chances, and that, you know, the last couple of sets, my scoring went up, and that's how I won the game.
I know you've spoken about Gary Anderson before and what he means to you as a player, but you know, he's 55. You would have grown up watching him. You'll remember him winning his world titles.
Oh, yeah.
Would you have imagined that, you know, taking to the Alexandra Palace stage in a World Championship semi-final against him?
No chance. No, you know, my first ever World Championship was back in 2011 when he made the final against Adrian Lewis. So to see that match when he played phenomenal all tournament, but he lost in the final, to think even like 15 years later you could play against him again in the semi-final, it's crazy, and I wouldn't even thought of that. And you know, probably the whole night I'm going to be pinching myself.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Sorry.
That's all right. Gian, congratulations. Talked about pressure a lot so far. Was there more pressure in this game and towards the end of it than in your World Youth Final and the European Championships?
Maybe in the end, yeah. But before the game, not at all, because, you know, the whole day I didn't feel pressure at all. I didn't feel nervous. I felt just took it as any other game I played. But as soon as you got 4-1 up, I started thinking about what can happen in the next, you know, if I win one more set. So then I felt a bit of pressure, but I handled it really well. And luckily I took out my first match start, because, you know, if I missed that dart, then Luke would have probably come back and then it could be a very tricky game. But yeah, luckily I got the job done.
In other sports, we've seen great rivalries: Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, ECT. Now we've got you, Littler, Humphries, Rock. Are we seeing something special developing at the top of world darts here?
Yeah, maybe. You know, the last 2 years have all been about Luke and Luke. They've dominated darts. 2025, they took out all the majors except for one, which I took. And, you know, they're phenomenal dart players. Josh Rock as well, he's been phenomenal. And I'm just happy I feel a bit lucky to compare myself to them. But especially, you know, the last couple of games, of course, as everyone knows, I beat Luke Humphries. I've done it tonight as well. I can always give them a game, and that's what I'm most proud of. Not even beating them, but always giving them a game with Luke Littler as well. So, yeah, hopefully it's going to be a great rivalry in the next couple of years.
I know so far you've refused to, but now are you daring to dream 2 games from that trophy? Have you visualised yourself lifting that trophy in a few days?
Not visualised yet, but I probably will tonight in bed. But, you know, of course, when you're in the semi-final, you start dreaming. But it's going to be very tricky. Of course, Gary Anderson up next in the final, Ryan Searle or Luke Littler. So it's not going to be easy. But if I keep performing like I have done tonight, then I've got a good chance. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Well played, Gian.
Thank you.
You showed terrific sort of mentality in the closing sets in that one. But just wondering if you noticed the body language from Luke Humphries during that game. He seemed to be a little bit negative when you took the lead. Is that something you noticed?
Yeah, for sure. You know, as soon as I hit the first 170, he missed a couple of times afterwards, and I saw his body language. I saw it was changing. The first couple of sets, he was very positive. He was scoring really well, and then afterwards I was scoring well and he wasn't, and I saw his body language change. I saw him not throwing his darts away, but a bit negative, as you said, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, just keep putting him under pressure, keep doing what you're doing so far, because he's a fantastic player. As soon as you let your foot off the gas, he's going to come back at you. So that's what I kept telling to myself, and that's what I did tonight. And yeah, as soon as you see a great player as Luke Humphries do that, then you know if you keep playing like the way you have done, you got him.
You told us a couple of days ago that you don't believe you're quite the elite player yet. You won't consider yourself elite. What do you need to do to say to yourself, yes, I am an elite player?
Difficult one. I said back then I needed to be world champion or world number 1. But right now, world number 3, semi-finalist, beating Luke Humphries again in a very, very good game. Then, okay, maybe I'm one of the elite players in the sport, but I wouldn't say I'm top 5 in the world. But, you know, I'm number 3 in the world right now, into the semi-finals, feeling really good, and I know if I play well, like I did today, I can beat anyone. But it's just on me to show that game after game, and that's what the other elite players do. So, yeah, if I want to be an elite player, I need to do that week in, week out.
And I could be wrong here. It seems your voice is going a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that all the interviews you've been doing?
Not at all. No. Since I came back from Christmas, I got a bit of a cold. It doesn't affect my game, unfortunately. But now, yeah, you know, it's been an interview sort of part of 30 minutes, so maybe it's going now. But you know, hopefully I win again tomorrow, and it's gone even worse.
Sorry,
Cheers, mate.
on that point with Jan's voice, and obviously big day tomorrow, was doing another 5 minutes or so.
Sorry, guys.
Gian, well done on that win, first of all. You said that you noticed the body language of Luke Humphries. It just changed quite early on in the match. Are you surprised about how early that changed? I think it was in the 3rd set where he started throwing a bit quicker. He was starting getting visibly frustrated. A man of his experience, I think it surprised us in the press room. It surprised you on stage.
Yeah, a little bit, of course, because it's a World Championship quarter-final. You're not supposed... Well, not supposed. I mean, I wouldn't do that in the 3rd set of such a big game. I would always try to keep positive, but, you know, it's probably because... Not probably, but it can be because he lost the last 4 games against me. I think, you know, all the media as well said that to him when he won his last 16 game, that he hasn't beat me in the last 4 games. So probably a bit of extra pressure on him. And when he started missing a couple of darts at the double, I took my chances. He probably felt like, okay, here we go again today. But, you know, even when I saw that, I know Luke Humphries is too good of a player to even, you know, start playing worse, because even if when he's negative, he can still average 100, 105 or even better. So even though I saw him being negative, I said to myself, just keep putting him under pressure, and that's what I did today.
With the level that you played at in that match and in this tournament, at the moment, do you feel like you're the closest player to Luke Littler?
Left in this tournament? Then yeah.
Well, in general, left in this tournament and just in general.
I don't know, to be honest. You know, of course, if I play like I did tonight, then yeah, maybe. But you know, I've beat him a couple of times this year on the European Tour on the floor. I gave him a good game at the World Grand Prix, but he stood up to it. He played phenomenal in that game. So I know I can give him a game, but to beat him, especially on the biggest stage of them all, is going to be tough. But if I keep performing like I did tonight, I can definitely give him a good game.
Thanks, Gian. Well played today.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jan.
Thank you, Paul.
Just a word for Luke Humphries. Just how good an ambassador is he for the sport, and how good has he been as a world number one, and what types of words did he have for you post-match?
Sorry, I thought it was a sneeze coming. He's a big ambassador for the sport. He's a fantastic player. He's shown it in defeat as well, as you see tonight. He said to me, you know, I deserve this win. He was looking forward to seeing me play in the Premier League next year. So it's going to be many more battles next year, and it's you know, he's done it in the European Championship as well. He's always gracious in defeat. Of course, he's disappointed that he lost, but he knows that he played a good game tonight, but he didn't take his chances early on. But he's always going to be gracious in defeat.
And to follow in the footsteps of Raymond van Barneveld and Michael van Gerwen to now take over as Dutch number one, how big an achievement is that in the list of your long line of achievements?
It's up there. You know, of course, I'm really happy to pick up my first major title, but to be the Dutch number one right now, world number three, it's especially as a Dutchman. You know, growing up, I always thought Michael was going to be the Dutch number one forever, but I've overtaken him now, so it's up there in my achievement so far. Thank you.
Last one or two, please. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just very quickly, talking about the Premier League next year, how excited are you to actually get being involved in that?
Is there a rule that the top four automatically qualifies? Then very excited. You know, as long as I don't get the email or the phone call that I'm going to be in, I'm not 100% sure, but, you know, it's really looking good. So very excited, of course, you know, playing the top, the other 7 players in the world, it's week in, week out, it's very exciting. I couldn't even dream about it growing up, so really look forward to that.
Great start, new year.
Thank you.
You are the number one, Dutch number one, surpass Van Gerwen. It's a bit like the Carlos Alcaraz and Rafael Nadal in tennis.
Sorry, what?
Alcaraz and Rafael Nadal in tennis, a little bit alike. Yeah.
Alcaraz, Spanish tennis.
Alcaraz, tennis player. Oh, yeah. And,
a little bit like, similar. Yeah. Just
Nadal. Yeah.
Just
because of course, because Alcaraz he's you know, I'm a big tennis fan, to be honest. I always go to. We have one tournament in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam. I always go to that tournament. So. You know, when Alcaraz took over Nadal was a fantastic player, of course. He had so many great battles with Federer, with Djokovic, and now Alcaraz is doing it. So once he took it over, Nadal, it was a great achievement for himself. And now, you know, I can't even compare myself to Alcaraz, but to do it myself now, taking over Michael van Gerwen, it's amazing, of course.
Yeah, my question is, do you feel pressure, and which affects you more, motivation or pressure?
Normally I would say pressure, but not so far in this tournament. Especially, I was pressure on my first game, but after that game, not so much pressure, but especially motivation, of course. And when once you're in the World Championship and you're still going, motivation is so high because it's the biggest tournament of them all. So I think motivation is what drives me so far.